Welcome to Make a Difference, where children come first and play is a priority. I'm Wendy Sullivan, one of the infant toddler specialists at the Capital District Child Care Council. And today, I can't wait to show you how to make a fleece ball. Like so many of the other toys we presented to you, a fleece ball is one of those open-ended materials that there really isn't a bad audience for. These fleece balls are fun for any age group. I would say even up to middle school. There's just no limit to the amount of fun that you can have with them. The youngest of babies will just hold them and feel them, touch the different textures that they can be made out of. They'll put them certainly on their face and directly into their mouths. The best thing about fleece balls is that they're totally washable, totally sanitizable. They're nearly indestructible. Anyone who spends any time with toddlers know that they get such joy out of throwing things. And what we like to do is encourage children to follow what their body is telling them to do. We just try to make sure that we give them appropriate things to do with them. So that's why a toddler can really enjoy a fleece ball. They will pull back and throw a fleece ball as hard as they possibly can, and they won't hurt another person. They're not going to knock a light bulb out or knock a lamp over or anything like that. They're very safe. These are the materials that you're going to need to make a fleece ball. We usually suggest that you get a yard of fleece. And that just means a yard of fleece fabric that just comes on a standard size bolt at the fabric store. Every yard of fleece that you buy, you'll be able to get 8 fleece balls out of. So here's an uncut piece of fleece, and I have it doubled. What I usually suggest to people, and if you're using another piece of fabric or something that you find that you'd like to try to make a fleece ball out of, usually what I tell people is the piece should be about as long as your arm and about as wide as your hand. That's an easy way to remember it. So we're going to cut a piece that's just about the length of my arm and about a width of my hand. I'm using pinking shears. Those are the shears that have zigzag teeth. Fleece does not ravel, but it gives a fleece ball just that extra texture at the ends. So you're just going to use your eyes and cut down a strip about the width of your hand. And I'll just pink the other side of this. And then you just lay your pieces out and take a look at your piece of fleece. And what you're going to want to do is just use your eyes and visualize where the center of that piece is. Kind of fold it in half just so you can get a good idea of where you're going to be cutting. What we're going to do is we're going to cut or fringe into this fleece, but we're not going to cut the middle. So I'll show you how we're going to do this. And each of these fringes I'm going to cut about the width of my finger. You want to make sure that you don't go any wider than that, because if you go wider, when you roll your fleece ball, it'll start looking like a pine cone and you won't be so happy with it. So we're just fringing these pieces about the width of your finger into the center of the fabric, but don't cut all the way through. Now that you have the one side of your fleece strip fringed, we're going to do the other, remembering not to cut through. We're going to leave that center attached. So you're just going to make your way down the other side of the fleece. That's what your piece should look like, fringed all the way down the center. What you're going to do is you're going to start rolling this tightly like a jelly roll, always keeping in mind where that center seam is. And this is kind of like rolling out a jelly roll, if you've ever made a jelly roll when you were baking. And this will start looking like a bow tie. And that's exactly right. That's what you want to see. That's what it looks like when you get to the end. And then what you're going to need is a zip tie. And then you just put the tail of it through, and you should hear it click. If you hear it click, you know you have it right. If it just slides in, flip it over and try again. Make sure I have everything in the right place. And give it a little puff, and there's your fleece ball. This is an important step. Remember, you had the box, and the box is right there. You're going to take just a plain pair of scissors, not pinking shears this time, just a plain pair of scissors. And you want to cut that zip tie off as tight to that box as you can. And sometimes it's a little bit tough to cut. So what we do is we take those 2 pieces of fleece and we tie a knot over it. And there's your fleece ball. One of my favorite quotes always comes to mind when I see children playing with fleece balls. And the quote is, "Life should be lived as play." One of the most important things that we can do for children is just to support them in their ideas and in their play. I think fleece balls can be used inside, outside, with friends, with a caregiver, with every age group. For more information about the services we offer and developmentally appropriate ideas for children, visit our website at cdccc.org. Make sure to tune in next time to make a difference, when I can't wait till you meet my sock babies.